I could form a hot take on just about anything. Really, all I need to do to do a show is the headlines on ESPN.com. I mean, there's like 7 there, and what?
All right, let's do it. You want to do it?
Sure. I mean, Tennessee, who took their sweet time, and it's amazing because Curry was the athletic director there, and he was undermined by Philip Fulmer because Philip Fulmer wanted the job. And that's just, I mean, Philip, the Stugotz is strong in you, but to take their time and the guy they land on, Tennessee, this is a major university, okay, inside the SEC. This is a university that has won national championships. And you're just going to go after the closest thing to Nick Saban, some guy Pruitt who's never been a head coach, and you're going to expect him to lead Tennessee where the Tennessee fans want to be led?
Time! Next headline.
Roger Goodell signs a deal worth up to $200 million. It's worth up to $200 million. A lot of players are upset. A lot of fans are upset. And I would say to the fans, what do you care? Who cares who the commissioner is and who cares how much money he's making? What do you care? He doesn't do anything. He protects the owners. He's a shield for the owners. And occasionally he acts like he cares about, some of the stuff that's important to the players.
Excellent work so far. You are crushing me. I am getting clubbed here. The referee needs to step in because you can indeed do this without any help or prep. Next headline.
The Steelers, Shazier, moved to a Pittsburgh hospital. That is great news. It really is. The fact that just 2 days after that hit and after,
What's
he sat.
his first name?
I think it's Ryan Shazier.
Okay, yes.
And the only reason I know that is because so many people have said his name the last couple of days. But Shazier, like we all sat there, right? We were all mortified. I can't even watch the play again. We thought that guy.
Too uncomfortable to look at. Okay. Next headline.
Hall of Famer Warren Moon is accused of sexual harassment. So we wondered when it would hit sports. It has hit sports. It has hit a Hall of Famer. It has hit Warren Moon. And now you're wondering, A, did Warren Moon actually do this? And then B, you wonder who's next. Because there are going to be plenty of people coming up. And they are nervous right now. They are all nervous. And so I do wonder who's next here in this equation. Actually, this is not the first time it hit sports. I believe it hit someone. Was it Greg Zahn? Greg Zahn. Greg Zahn was accused of this just last week. So Warren Moon is the second domino here.
He's the first follower.
Yes.
He's the second domino.
Yeah, the first football domino, though.
Right, the first football domino, second sports domino.
Yep. So we all wonder what happens next there with that story.
Next time!
Derrick Rose apologizes to the Cavs for his absence. How about you stop apologizing and start playing basketball? How's that said? Every team you go to, you apologize. You eventually apologize to that team. How about stop apologizing and just play some damn basketball or retire so your knees are healthy enough that you can see your kids graduate and walk down the aisle with them? It's like enough of Derrick Rose. I feel bad for him because I feel like we were stripped away from seeing a guy who could have been one of the all-time greats. But you know what, Derrick Rose? It happened. I'm sorry. Your knees are done. Either decide you want to play basketball, you don't want to play basketball, but what I want you to do is stop apologizing.
Okay.
Stop going to a team. Stop taking a leave of absence where they can't find you. Everyone's worried and concerned, and they're sending out, people looking for you all over town. Just communicate with your team, and do me a favor. Put a smile on once in a while.
Okay. You know what? I'm sorry for doubting you.
Yeah. And now I got Palmeiro. This is the last headline here. It's a slow sports day, but he is 53, and he's working on a return to the majors. And I thought it was as a manager. I didn't realize he wants to come back and play. And so I was thinking, as it relates to the Marlins, Giancarlo Stanton, he should just stand pat, okay? Because he doesn't want to go to St. Louis, and he doesn't want to go to San Francisco. I don't think the Dodgers are that interested. And you know what? They'll trade everyone else away, and it will just be Stanton. But how about this? Imagine this. It's Stanton, Palmeiro, Bonds, A-Rod, like all the recently retired greats. How great would that team be?
I love that
and
idea.
And Tebow.
I love that idea. I mean, everybody stand up. Stand up and give this to God.
Great job.
I got 3 hours and 45 minutes to go. But.
Applaud Stugotz for a heroic effort. I think my favorite Stugotz move of all of them. In fact, let's do this. 786-456-4837.
No.
What is your favorite Stugotz move? 786. I'm also going to go around the room. 786-456-4837. But I think it might be after he says something like, hey, Derrick Rose, how about you stop apologizing and start playing? And then the next sentence after that is always going to be either, how about that or how's that sound? Like, I circle back around like, here, I know I made a good statement, now eat it. Now, I know I made a statement that the people will like, and now I will throw it in his face with a how's that sound or how about that?
Someone said, I can't believe Stugotz just told Derrick Rose to stop apologizing while apologizing to Derrick Rose. How about that?
You did apologize to Derrick Rose while telling him to stop apologizing. You also said totally insincerely that you feel bad for Derrick Rose. But let's go around the room. I'm going to go around the room here. Your favorite Stugotz move, you're only allowed to pick one. I know that mine's not a very strong entry, but what is your favorite, Chris?
Mine's just actually visually, like when he extends his arm and he has his sausage fingers and he's just like looking at them. Like when he's making a take, his left arm. Oh,
that's right. No, he does look at his left arm. Yeah. Yes. It's his left arm.
Casual.
Oh, that's excellent,
just
Chris.
Excellent.
Chris, excellent. Yes. So those of you who are just listening right now, that is absolutely so. When Stugotz is pleased with himself and he has the floor, he does not look at me. He extends his left arm, He starts wiggling his sausage fingers, and then he stares at the end of them, pleased with himself.
Right. Well, I can't stare at you. You know that, right? Like,
well, no,
I can't make eye contact with you.
What I love is it is absolutely a coping mechanism a sheltered dog that's been abused would use. Like, you're not looking at me. You're looking at your finger because there's soothing in your fingers.
Yes.
And you know I'm going to, like, bite your head off.
Right. The withering stare. I mean, I feel your eyeballs on me. I just can't make eye contact with them.
Guillermo, what's your favorite?
Something he's been doing lately that's fascinated me is he's developed this new fake laugh where he always has his normal fake laugh, but now he just goes, ha! And then just keeps moving. It's this new fake laugh that he's developed. Ha!
That can't be your favorite. That can't be your favorite. It's too much it's too much from his recent collection. Like the last thing he did is the best thing he did?
No, this new laugh. Now you've seen it, Dan, or now you've heard it, you're gonna catch on to it all the time.
Thank you. Thank you for pointing that out. Roy, what is your favorite Stugotz thing?
When Stugotz gets firmly entrenched into a rant, he cuts off the last word of a sentence in half and moves on to the next sentence.
He's in a hurry to get to the next
I got to work quick, man. Yeah. I know Dan wants that microphone.
He often misses words.
Dan wants the microphone back.
I can pull up that time he said tight ends coach.
No, please.
Yes, and no, Roy is right about this, that you were finishing a thought with tight ends coach, but you didn't get to the rest of the phrase after the T in tight ends coach. And so this is how the sentence ended before you went to your hurriedly to your next thought.
He's not going straight from tight. He might improve. Mike's right. He might improve.
There it is.
Can't explain. I mean, the thoughts sometimes just move a little bit faster than the words. And I think someone had on the front end had to say tight end coach, so I know it was established, and then I could just move on. I didn't have to say it again.
Mike, what is your favorite Stugotz thing?
When he's trying to go along with the segment, because sometimes he just does a segment trying to give you the answer that you want. He's kind of a puppet that way. And he misses the mark. He looks at me and he shrugs his shoulders. And sort of the bottom lip goes down a little bit. Like, did I give him what he wanted? I don't know.
Sometimes I'm guessing. I wasn't listening.
All right, we're taking calls on your favorite Stugotz things. Stugotz's finishing moves. He is the hot take artist. We celebrate around here that Stephen A. Smith is the best at this, but is he? But is he? Because you saw what Stugotz just did. Stugotz, off the top of his head, just gave you 7 rat-a-tat-tat takes, all of them. Stronger than the previous one. Go ahead and put it on the poll, Guillermo, at Lebitard Show. Who's better at the hot take? Stugotz or Stephen A. Smith? Arash, you're on 790 The Ticket. Go ahead, Arash.
Stu's move is when Stu says something so outrageously funny that he turns around in his chair, looking at the wall behind him, and starts laughing so hard that his entire body starts wiggling.
Yeah, I don't like that as much as you do.
I do that because I know Dan is mad at me. That's why I do it.
Also, the view ain't great for Dan.
That's terrible. That was more of what I was talking about there. Jiggling red Stugotz.
Yep.
Plumber's butt.
Mm-hmm. Every time, right?
Bent over, laughing at me and at the wall. Nathan, you're on 790 The Ticket.
This may be recency bias, but whenever Stugotz hits you with "that's a fine" and then says watch your tone.
Yeah, he likes that one.
Yeah.
He discovered that one. Yesterday he was really embracing that one. Like he was during the break saying, "That's a good move. I got a good new move now."
I like this fine system.